away we go. Where are we here? Are we up? Not sure. I'm up. I don't know. I don't see any sign of anybody else, but I'm done. I'm on. Anyway, get going. Picking up literally exactly where we left off 22.5 hours ago. We survived our Sunday. Just. Me and Kawai. We do have people here. Okay, good morning, gang. Good morning, good morning. Surprisingly, no rain in Tokyo this morning. That typhoon has passed us by. Yesterday was a wet, wet, wet day. The typhoon seems to have trundled on, and now we have a nice, beautiful sunny day here. It's too bad about everybody's weekend. What are these noises in the email here? There's the first question. Is it a kitsune you're carving? No, sir. This is our New Year's card. And the easiest way to show might be this. This is the key line. As you can see, the little animal there is no fox. Find the question box. I should have opened it. It's a question about requests for prints and stuff to carve. I know at the moment a workshop like this, we're not even remotely thinking about what other possible work we could be doing. We're snowed under. We're staggering under the workload. The current projects we've got going are Ukiyo-e Heroes, the subscription series, our own prints, the small ones. We can't even keep up with them, so we can't possibly think about taking on new projects, let alone approach people in the media out there for licensing their work or something. It's just impossible. So there's many things we'd like to do. There's many things that would make beautiful woodblock prints. But at the moment, we're incapable of thinking about such things. So the anime suggestion you're making there in the question, I can't do it at all. It's a bit frustrating because after years of sort of this business sleeping quite a bit, It's been woken up hugely, but we can't scale. We can't scale up. I can't pick up the phone and call 2 new carvers and 3 new printers, start tomorrow. If this was 10 or 15 years ago, those people existed, but they don't anymore. So no, suggesting projects is interesting, but it's a purely academic exercise. I can't take on any more work. There's so many prints that could be made, It'll be interesting to see over the years if we can build our staff up, if we can get a stable of printers working here. There's no end to the beautiful, interesting prints we could be making, but I don't know if I will live long enough to be able to see that built up. I don't know. Even this week, it turns out we've bitten off at the moment. What's this? Time zone? Nothing? What have I done? Soka. Hour earlier or later. The chisel I'm using right now is just one of my own chisels. It's nothing. I didn't receive it from anybody. It's just a normal chisel. I've had it for many, many, many years. The tools I received from Ito-san years ago, if that's what you're talking about, receiving tools from a carver. Those tools are in the drawer. They're not in daily use, absolutely. Crunch, crunch. There's going to be a bit of a change in the work schedule around here over the next few days. I know the streams will be okay, but the content will be changing here. Today's Monday morning. The normal plan for me here would have been to do this here today, work in the shop today. We've got a bunch of parties. It's not chaotically busy, we think. And then the plan normally for me for Tuesday, tomorrow, would be to go to our Ome workshop. But that's not going to happen this week for a couple of reasons. One is that, they don't need me. There's nothing for me to specifically do this week. They are shipping, just wrapping packages and shipping. And the less I hang around and get in the way, the better for that. But the other reason is I won't be going to Ome because I'm very much needed here. We've got a change in the plans. I opened the gift print page. What was it, 2 nights ago? I can't remember. I opened it on the 27th. We usually open it on the 20th or the 27th or somewhere, depending on the day of the week. And we knew this year's gift print was going to be popular, that little owl print. We knew we had a winner. We knew it was going to do well. And it has done well. And actually things have gone kind of crazy. It's... we have too many orders. So I myself, and we've all scheduled. Shimoi-san did the first group, which were all rejected. We talked about that. The young boy who I was testing came through for the test a couple of weeks ago. And then when we put him in to make these, they were all rejected. He doesn't seem to understand what we're doing, or either doesn't understand or can't make his hands do the thing. I don't know. So they're all totally rejected. He's out. We had a plan B, backup place. Aimi-san, she's off doing the baby thing, but her morning sickness, it seems, is pretty much past now. So she's here a few days last week and a few days this week making her own batch of the owls. In fact, her first batch is done and they're shipping. That's what Ome is doing today and tomorrow. They're shipping those already. But it's not enough, and we had hoped that Shimoi-san would be able to come on board and do this. He's out. Everybody else here is busy with other assigned work, planned work. Whatever, long story short, there's nobody else in the whole building left now to do this overstock except me. So this afternoon I'll be making paper wet. 100 sheets maybe, I'm not sure, whatever. And starting tomorrow morning, instead of going to Ome, I'm going to be doing a batch of the owls. Because the orders are coming in way faster than the other printers can handle. So there's a bunch of other things I need to do here, but that's going to have to take a back seat. So we won't be doing streaming tomorrow. There's no way I can set up streaming and get that work going. I've just got to concentrate on it. But it'll take me a couple of days to finish. So probably my stream on Wednesday morning, it's not going to be here at my carving desk. It'll probably be upstairs at one of the printing desks making owls. I don't think I've done that before on these streams. I did some casual test printing on one of them once. In fact, I did the test printing of the owl upstairs. This won't be test printing. This will be an actual production run. And I'm not sure how interesting or whatever that's going to be for people to watch, because whatever color I'll be doing during the streaming time, it'll be print the color, put it over there, put pigment on, print the color, put it over there. I'll be doing exactly the same thing again and again and again for the entire course of the stream. So we'll see. You want to get a chance to see what a printer's life is like, that's your chance. Again and again and again and again. As I said, that's probably going to be Wednesday morning, I think. We'll see. Not close enough in. So it's a compromise, you know. If I zoom in closer to catch a better view of it, I end up moving out of the screen, you know, moving off the... The closer we get in, the more I have to remember to stay in exactly the same position. Alright, I think that part's done. Oops, a bit more smoothing. Too shallow there. Okay, that's one color. The other end of this block has another color, the kotatsu. We'll now flip it over. And here's the block. I better zoom back out a bit. So here's the color block that is going to do the steam. I don't know if you can catch the image or whatever. The girl is sitting with her friend there, and above her there will be steam rising up into the top areas of the print from her bowl of noodles. And that's what we see here. We've got the same image you just saw. The girl sitting, her friend is here, and there's going to be steam, plus some of her clothing. So here we go. That's next. There's 4 color blocks altogether for this print. There's one more which will do part of her hair. Nothing here for me there, I think. We have a quiet, that's fine, a quiet chat today and a fairly quiet Dave today, that's fine. After that weekend, I'm okay. Even with the pouring rain and the typhoon, it was just an incredible weekend, bit short here, I've got to pull it out. As you sharpen this thing, of course, it gets a bit shorter and shorter, so. These are the color blocks for the girl and the dog. Yes, that's correct. There's going to be 4 of them all together. So. Excuse me. Anything in the question box? Sometimes the question box beeps, and sometimes it doesn't. No, nothing in the box. What have we got here? I would love to know what is going on as well. I'm carving color blocks. I don't know, what else can I say? I don't know. This is our New Year's gift print. Key block is done. There's 4 color blocks for it. Last couple of days. How deep do the blocks need to be? The blocks need to be deep enough. What's that thing about Abraham Lincoln? How long do a man's legs need to be? Long enough to reach the ground. Whatever. The depth is a reflection of how far apart we are. It's just like a globe. These are land masses, and this is an ocean. And the ocean near the land mass can be shallow, but once you get out there, it's got to be deep. The paper can sag. So the farther away we are from the printing areas, the deeper it gets. So that block I just finished, whatever, these are bowls. Doesn't need to go too deep. The whole piece of wood I'm working with here is about 4 millimeters thick, the cherry, 4 millimeters on top of plywood, and there's nowhere here where I've gone through to the plywood. Never. It just doesn't happen. So our maximum depth is something less than 4 millimeters. I am tired. I'm sorry. I know, I don't want to give that impression. I'm actually a happy guy. I'm genki. We're doing well. But October has been stunning. It's just been staggering. The guests, every day guests. And on top of the guests, the book paperwork. I know over last night, I haven't counted yet. 30, 40 orders for the gift print. I don't know. So this is our we're all tired. We're all very, very much tired. It'll settle down come the middle of November or so. Things will back off. The tourists will go away. Not go away. The tourists will not be coming. And we settle into a quieter season. So don't panic about this. But yeah, all of us here for these weeks, the end of October, we are tired. Not so much the other staff because they go home at 5:30 or 6, but I don't. That's the job. When you're the boss, that's the thing. So if I'm a little bit quieter than normal or a little bit apparently run down, don't panic. What was the answer about the depth? Huh? Paper. Yeah, we've got some interesting news coming on the paper, you know. So we're in the middle of a long transition. It'll take a couple of years. A transition from the paper maker we've been using for nearly 30 years. We're making a transition to the workshop run by a young guy, a no-name young guy. There's many aspects to it. Trying to tie together the supply of all the components. As I mentioned on the stream the other day, we think now we've got it locked up, a source of mulberry fiber. That should be actually, might be happening this afternoon, I'm not sure. Paper. It's been such a problem, you know. We just trusted them for all those years. They did a reasonably good job, but what's that expression somebody wrote in some book somewhere? Like it was, I think they were talking about somebody going bankrupt or something. You know, and how do you go bankrupt? Slowly, then quickly. Something like this. I forget the exact quote. I don't know what it was. And that's what it's been with our paper quality over the years. It's been decaying a bit, and it hasn't been a panic for us because we've just thought, well, that's the way it is these days. Things are just gradually declining as opposed to the old era. So they've been slowly declining, and it was always a concern, but it was never a panic. And then suddenly, the bottom fell out and the paper just turned to crap, and we struggled so much the last couple of years. We've thrown away so many prints, struggled with the sizing. It's no fun when you're a printer in this business. When the paper is no good, it just sucks all the pleasure. I mean, what we do is work. We're not in it for pleasure, but the work is pleasureful when things are going well. But when the paper is no good, it rips the guts out of it. You're fighting every single impression of every color of every image. Desperately trying to keep it to the level where you can dare to put the prints out into people's hands, you know. And finally, we think we can see our way out of that, you know. Yeah, I know, you're in there. So the mulberry situation, there was a, whatever, again, it's a long story. I tell the same story again and again and again. The people who've been growing the mulberry have been faced with very difficult business situation in that some years there's been demand and some years there hasn't been demand. Some years their crop wasn't even accepted by the agricultural cooperative that sells it. They ended up throwing stuff away in the mountains about 5 years ago. So a bunch of the mulberry farmers have just got out of the business. They were old anyway, they were near retirement anyway. They've just said, who needs this trouble? Out we go. So the supply crashed over the past 4 or 5 years. And now it's extremely unstable. It varies wildly from year to year. Prices vary wildly, availability varies wildly. Nobody knows whether there's going to be demand. Speaking about, from the farmer's point of view, they have no idea if there's going to be demand. They don't know what to plant, if they're going to be able to sell it, not be able to sell it. Because there's been no communication from the farmers up to the agricultural cooperatives, up to the paper wholesalers, up to the paper makers. There's been no, it's all been in such flux and chaos. So what we're trying to do is simply cut out all that stuff, identify a farm, which we've done, convince them that our demand will be stable. And we're going to convince them just by putting money on the table, of course, And then we have to trust them that they will stay in business and do this, And then we'll have to make our own plan B and stuff like that. So that'll be the way forward for the future for us. Identify that specific farm, make a contract with them. We buy the stuff. Forget the agricultural cooperatives. We're going to buy it, stock it, hold it here, feed it to our paper maker as he needs it bit by bit. And if this works, then it'll be as stable as we can get it, as stable as we can make it. And the next step will be to widen the base, so we're not dependent on just one supplier at both ends, in terms of mulberry and in terms of paper. Because there's huge demand for this kind of paper, not just our own requirements, but people overseas who want to do this kind of printmaking. There is endless, infinite demand. Clocks. Sorry guys, we don't do that. That's your end. So how have we shaken the pre-existing environment? I don't know. It's a really mixed up thing to say. The since we did the Heroes, as everybody knows, there's a whole bunch of copycat projects have come in. I think the first one was Star Wars, then there was the KISS project, and there's a dozen of them. I should make a list somewhere, I don't know. And this was the cause of our paper problems a few years ago, because the huge demand suddenly from every woodblock shop in town through 2012, 2013, 2014, when those projects started, has put a huge burden on our traditional paper maker, and they weren't able to handle it. So that's another factor why the paper quality dropped so badly. So it's not that we have supplied work for all these people in town, the printers and carvers. It's the copycat thing, the idea of making prints with pop culture themes spread rapidly over the past 5 years. Combine that with something else that's happening, which is nothing to do with me causing it, is the huge increase in tourists coming to Japan. It's like a logarithmic thing happening on scales. It's staggering. The increase in the number of tourists coming to Japan. And of course, many of these people look for woodblock prints as souvenirs. It's been a traditional souvenir for hundreds of years, ever since tourists started coming here. So the combination of those two things, the increase in the popularity of woodblock printmaking because of the pop culture boom, plus the increase from the general tourism boom, and every workshop in town, every printer in town, everybody is busy. But it's busy in an unstable way. All of a sudden there's a ton of work, then for somebody there's no work, and people, it hasn't been a slow, steady growth. It's been a sudden explosion, and then gaps, then an explosion, and then gaps. So it's chaotic right now, absolutely chaotic. Boom, what's this around? Cameron? I thought he would be here earlier than this. I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. I think that's Cameron, I guess. We have such a ton of work to do today with him. Bookkeeping, orders. Which set of footsteps is this? How you doing, sir?
Good morning.
No jacket. Is it that warm out there?
It's warm.
Really? I thought because of the clear air it would be like the cold Arctic stuff coming down.
No, it's a beautiful day.
Really? So there's going to be more rain coming in if it's warm. Southern air and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
But
Say
it's
hello.
beautiful for now.
Say hello to the gang.
Good morning.
This is Cameron. Those of you who haven't met him.
Yep. Hi.
He's here to make life interesting for him and life easier for me. Have those two
Well,
hasn't happened for me yet? Has it happened for you yet?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I will get working on those the list you sent me this morning. So.
Oh, the Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess first, because you can't do the rest till you get this computer. So there's a bunch more orders. I know what's happening with Ome. I know Ome, it's on Ishikawa-san who's there today.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to worry about the owl orders yet.
Okay.
We can still hold the overnight owl orders can stay back. So, but everything that isn't an owl order should go through to Ome.
Okay.
But it's okay. She won't be there until around noon.
Oh, perfect.
So it's okay. I'll finish this. We'll clear this. Let's hit that order box.
Okay.
It's.
Big.
I mean, it's.
Thank you for all your orders.
It's big. It's gone crazy, and it's not just owl orders. People are browsing, and it's everything. It's going insane. So, but those should go to Ome before noon.
Before noon.
I guess before noon. So
Perfect.
yeah. And as for tomorrow, I know the other part about the owl orders, I know Shimoi-san's batch was completely useless. It's thrown in the garbage. Aimi-san, of course, she's up and running with her batch. It's nowhere near enough. And she can't do another batch. It would be weeks if we recycle her for another batch.
Right.
So there's only one thing to do today. I got to make paper wet, and I'm going to have to spend a couple of days upstairs. So Ome is out tomorrow, whatever. I'm here. So we can have our meeting, whatever, upstairs while I'm printing.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what time I'll be back. I'm supposed to be over there at 9:15.
Okay.
And that means the earliest, I usually wait for an hour, 10:15. The earliest I'll be back is noon. Earliest.
Okay. So we should come maybe a little later.
Whatever. Let's talk about. Is Aoyama coming today? We'll talk about that today.
No, he sent a message saying he's got a sore throat, but he'll come tomorrow.
Well, let's sort it out. But 12 I think is probably a bit early for me. But I will be here from there till midnight, you know.
Okay.
So whatever.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
see what his schedule and your schedule. We have other work to do anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So.
There's always other work to do. Okay. Thanks. I'll try not to disrupt the stream.
With the computer. No idea what I do, sir. So.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on here, but whatever. Okay. You guys are apparently okay. I'll leave you alone. Get back to this. Japan doesn't do any daylight time at all. So whatever you guys do, you have to work around us. But we don't do it. I think there was an experiment with it when the Americans were running the country after the war. I'm not sure about the history. I think it held on, and then the day the Americans left, whatever, turned the country back to the Japanese. I think time zones were switched back. This is chippy choppy wood here in this corner. The other day I had, when I was going over to speak to that young printer, Shimoi-san, the young boy who we thought was going to help us, but didn't work out. His workshop is over in West Tokyo, over in a place called Daikanyama. And to get there, you go from here straight to Shibuya Station at the other side of town. And then from Shibuya, you change over to one of the other train lines, Toyoko line or something. And Shibuya at the moment, the famous scramble area, in and around the stations, there's a bunch of different train lines that meet there. The JR system is there, subways meet there, Toyoko line meets there, Odakyu comes in. I don't even know how many train lines. Tokyu trains come in there. It's a stunningly, staggeringly difficult complex of transportation systems. And over the past few years, well, not just over the past few years, but specifically over the past few years, they've been rebuilding some of these stations. And this is one of those places where, I don't know the number, 11 million people every morning come through, to change from one train line to another. It's an astonishingly complicated network. And they're rebuilding these stations while this is going on. You can't tell the commuters, go away for 2 years while we rebuild these stations, then come back. Every day, all these commuters and everybody else goes through this place while all the construction is going on. And I hadn't been there in a couple of months, I guess, whatever. And I was totally and absolutely and completely and hopelessly lost. I've been in Japan for 30 years. I've been to Shibuya any number of times. And I didn't have the slightest clue where I was or which way to go or what to do. Once I got off my Ginza Line train, I came off my train out into the areas where, I thought I knew where to go. And I was just stunningly lost. But what they've done is, because it's not just me, it's everybody. And they change these things overnight. Like, they will build a new passage during the night so the commuters can go up instead of around, instead of down or whatever, while they rebuild some other part of this. So parts of this change daily. And because of all this, because everybody's lost, they're really hip with the signage. They've got these crews that do nothing but change the signs and put up signs and try and manage people how to get from point A to point D, wherever they're trying to go, And they have to cover every option. Somebody getting off the Ginza line to go to the Toyoko line, if you're at the back of the train or the front of the train, which passage, And the guys doing this must be having so much fun, because to try and keep a mental map of that thing, it's just not possible. And I can't imagine what kind of physical maps they have, because this is a three-dimensional structure. It's staggeringly interesting. So I just came out of there, sat there slack-jawed. What do I do now? And then picked up on this fact that they have done a really good signage and just followed my signs. It said Toyoko line this way. You go 10 steps and you look up and there's another sign that says Toyoko line this way. You go around a corner, you look at them, but it says Toyoko line this way. So you just become like a dumb tourist. Even though I've lived here all these years, you become like a dumb tourist, just following the signs, following the signs. And for a real tourist, I can't imagine falling in the middle of that. Anyway, the reason I mention that is because the concept of what they're doing, rebuilding the whole operation entirely from the ground up while still in operation. This is something that all these, train lines and construction companies are good at. And I can tease you with this because starting in a couple of weeks, we are probably going to be doing exactly the same thing. Our shop has been here for 3 years. In fact, Wednesday is our anniversary of opening, November 1st. We opened November 1st, 2014, after 2 months of construction here. And if things go well over the next couple of months, we're moving again. And this time we got to do it while we're in operation. And we're planning and planning and planning. That's what I was talking to Cameron about Tuesday. It was supposed to be a planning day. Me and he and Aoyama-san. But I've got to do this printing, so we're going to have to do the planning right next to my printing bench so that I can print and have this meeting. We're going to put our general's hats on, start drawing our maps, figure out the alignment of our troops and get our campaign underway. And of course it would be happening at the busiest time of year, one of the busiest times of year. All this, of course, you understand, is completely top secret. When it rains, it pours. Okay, now I'm not going to try and carve that noodle now, because I'm going to wait till we get the other blocks in place and do a test print. So I'm just going to leave the area. It's funny, Jetsan thinks this is ramen, but nobody would serve ramen like this on New Year's Day, so we are thinking it's soba. Optionally udon, they're both served at that time of year. Alright, it's about to get a little bit noisy, I think. No way around it. I've done the quiet bit here. It's time to bring out, oops. So for the last section of this morning's, I'm going to have to zoom out. For the last, whatever we got, what time is it now? 9, 10, last 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes or so, it's going to get noisy. I'll need a paper shim. My stick actually is worn out too much. It just falls right through, so I need a shim here. Should hold it. Okay, I've got the camera in good position. Seems all right. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Persuader time. I better move my microphone off just up onto the cable here, a bit out of the way of the sound. Where's my chisels? I could carve a new bench top in 5 minutes, he says. Probably 3 minutes. Who's got time for stuff like that? Story of my life. I waited 25 years for an actual bench. Never got around to making it. Okay, here we go. Stand by. Goodbye, ASMR fans. See you next time. just insurance here, make sure I don't cut off the registration mark. Not like I've never done that before, but is the camera shaking? Have I done? Seems okay. I'm still on camera. Excuse me. noisier knife and a larger chisel here. So. Just a couple of minutes here for this one. As we mentioned earlier, now how deep to go. We're nowhere near 3 millimeters, I guess, somewhere there. We're nowhere near the bottom of that plywood, so it looks quite deep, but it's actually not so much. You know. We're good at this, you know, when we're printing, you know, the paper doesn't sag. We don't bash into the areas we shouldn't go. So for us, it's not necessary to carve all that deeply. Bench is moving over. I should pull it back. Chat. What have we got? Bench dogs. Yeah, the guy, I know who you're talking about. The guy was rubbing his baron. Traditionally the guys, I don't know if baron, yeah, I do. You see this still downtown. Well, some of the older printers, I use camellia oil. We have a pad with camellia oil. We rub the baron on. It's clean. It's camellia oil. It doesn't go, what's the word? It doesn't go moldy or rotten or whatever. But the old printers, because they used to dress their hair with camellia oil, whatever. When their baron is a bit stiff, they'd rub it on their head like this and do this. And there's this guy on YouTube, whatever, he does this thing, rubbing it on his face, whatever. It's pretentious. The normal, sensible way now is we keep the baron on a pad with a bit of oil on the pad. He's just picking up a bit of, oil. To me, it's pretentious. Like there's going to be oil in his beard. He hasn't had it washed in a week or something. Who knows? Okay, backwards grain here, so we've got to pop this out so it doesn't pull off the registration marks. I can't carve this way because it'll split because the grain runs the other way. But if I start this way, the registration mark will pop off. So. we go, there we go. You know what that means? What is it today? Today's Monday, right? On duty with me today are Doi-san, he's back from America. He had a great time over there at Columbia University, held some kind of seminar about old pigments and stuff. So Doi-san, one of our members, attended it. He's back today. So today it'll be Doi-san and Kawai-san kana, and me. There's not so much for a print party load yet. We'll see what's in the mailbox. Oh, this is good timing. I can just finish this off. Okay, to start recapping again. Now, tomorrow is Tuesday. There will be no stream tomorrow, Tuesday. I'm supposed to be in Ome. That's not what's going to happen. I'll be here upstairs printing. I think. So Wednesdays. Six things going on at once here. So just a minute. Excuse me. So Wednesday stream for me, it could be one of two things. This job won't be finished by then, so it will still be here on my carving bench. But if the plan goes as planned, by Wednesday I'll be deep in printing a batch of the owls upstairs. So I'm not sure. I could leave the camera here and just do some more of this, or take the camera stuff and try and figure out how to make it all work upstairs and show some printing. We'll see. I don't know. It will be one of those two things. There may be a bunch of people here watching the stream who have ordered the owl. Don't panic. We're on top of it. Aimi-san's batch is being wrapped as I speak. Monday morning. They're leaving today. I don't know exactly when your order came in, but if it's not in that batch, it'll be in my batch a few days later. So. Good morning, sir. How did you survive last night? Okay? 今日の予約はそんなに2回ですね。そう。途中で入るかどうか。晴れるかですね。There we are. There we have it. Okay, I've got to get out of here. There is a ton of work waiting. I think I should be replying to. And desync again. We have. I thought we had done. I got this. I thought we'd got that sorted out. We had desync problems before. I adjusted the video audio so that it was supposedly synced up. Whatever, there's no time to mess around with it now. Next time, let's do a little back and forth question and answer. Shiba-sanじゃない。S begins with an S. Suga-san, say hello to the stream. I remembered to bring your paper out today. I remembered.
覚えてた。
覚えてないよ。
ありがとうございます。
You shouldn't have to say thank you. So. Suga-san's working on yokai prints upstairs. Now, back number yokai, Dai-san.
あ、バックナンバー妖怪。
そう。
3、4やってます。
始まった。おもはん入れた？
おはん入れました。
本当に必要ある？何枚が残ってるとか、だから何ヶ月分が残ってるか、本当に来週必要あるとか。もしなかったら、ミミズク。
あ、ミミズク？
注文がここまで入ったんですが。
あ、そんなに？
そう、下井さんのバッチは、あゆみさんのバッチはもう金曜日。金曜日来る。僕が今夜から始まりますが。
あ、そうなんだ。
河合さんは多分来週からまた始まりますが、注文が終わりがないです。
あ、本当。
Endless. It's wonderful. I don't know. Maybe.
Good selection.
そう。だから。
じゃあ、そっち先の方がいい？
だから紙まだ用意してないですから。
あ、紙か。そっか。あと、妖怪の、あれですよね、新しい12月分が、板が5日の月曜日に来る。
連絡入ったんですね。
遅いですね。
very disappointed.
あれも早めにやらないとまた、
そうですが、その待ってる間、今日30でしょ。で5日はいつ ?5 日は1、2、3、4、5、
月曜日。
まあ、もう一回月曜日。だからそう、月曜日から始まります。
始まる、そう、
その前にミミズク生ができるか。
やる？
だから100枚じゃなくて、
ちょっとだけ。
その間にできる分。
そっかそっかそっか。
ですが、妖怪3が。
3、4ね。あと、残りが7枚と8枚って言ってたんですよね。あれ、7枚と8枚じゃない
ですが、発送日は1日でしょ。
そっかそっかそっか。じゃあ、そっちを後にした方がいいか。
今日、安井さんいないからいないみたいでしょ。
いないんだ。今日出勤じゃないんだ。
I don't know.
そっか。
だからもう、杉さん、そのまま妖怪、それから来週の月曜日からまた妖怪。あまり邪魔しないように。
そうだね。ナンバー3が4枚で、ナンバー4があと10枚だからどうなんだろうね。
でも1日まではできないよ。1日は走って
まだね。
だから来月のため。
ためだよね、きっとね。そうだよね。
I don't know.
ナンバー3が急に少なくなる。
とりあえず今、あゆみさんの分と私今夜から始まりますから、OK。ちょっとハテナマーク。
じゃあちょっと一応頭の中に入れときますね。はい。
OK、ごめん。Ignore you guys. OK. Time to get to work here. It's 9:30. Thanks very much for watching, guys. It's been a bit of a quiet stream here and nothing much exciting happening at this end, but it's not a private conversation. If it was, I wouldn't have left you guys on. We're planning the, we're trying to juggle. What I was chatting with her about was we're trying to juggle the printing jobs. We've got the subscription series. We know what we're doing, but it turns out that when we started the subscription series like a year ago, we made a certain quantity, and a bunch more new subscribers have come in at the end of the year. And we don't have prints for them. So she is in the middle of making the new yokai prints, the ones for this month and next month. She's also dragging out the old blocks and making a batch more of the back numbers, yokai number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't know how many to make because we don't know how many more orders are going to be coming in. It's the publisher's problem, the book publisher's problem. How many copies do you print? It's not like a book publisher, because when they print 1,000 copies or 2,000 copies, it gets really, really cheaper per book the more they print. It doesn't work like that for us. To print 1 takes her X minutes. To print 2 makes her 2X minutes. To print 3 takes 3X minutes. There's no economy of scale. There is in the carving, because the carving is amortized. But when you're printing, there's no economies of scale. It's the bugbear of our business, and it's what keeps us at this level, which minimizes our growth. There are no economies of scale for woodblock printing. So we're trying to balance this. How many to make, which one to make, when do we make it, when do we need it by? All these things have to be totally scrambled together. Anyway, I have got to get out of here. I've got to get going. Thanks very much, guys. I won't see you tomorrow. No stream tomorrow. Wednesday stream will either be here carving or upstairs printing. Hold your breath and find out then. Bye-bye. Thank you. Where's my mic? Here we go. Hang up the microphone and then say goodbye. So long.